mean, no one's going to care next week if we waited a week to go live with this. And we're live now. What's going on, people? Welcome to Game and Talk. No, we have not hit our weekly goal. We're nowhere near it. However, since there was a direct this week, and you probably don't want to hear about this week's direct next week, we just decided to go live, and Battle of the Sexes has been delayed. Hope everyone is doing well. We've got myself, Nate the Hate. Nate, how we doing?
It is exceptionally warm here today, and I had planned to be in the pool. I don't have air conditioning. I had planned to be in the pool until you called an audible and had an episode go live tonight.
You're welcome. And Mr. Stinky is here. How we doing?
Oh my God, you're stinky. Hi, I'm Celia. I'm a little sick today, so I might be coughing and muting myself a little bit, but whatever.
Mr. Stinky merch coming soon. So we obviously had a Nintendo Direct this week. I still actually have all my notes from my video. Jose is, I don't know what the fuck she's doing. So before we get into all the stuff, I want to give a shout out to, of course, our channel members. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the after show directly after this. But over on Patreon, now we're talking about star supporters too. I don't know. That's a new thing. John just ran by me. Adam Baldizon, A Billion Cats, Drunk on Tacos, star supporters. Appreciate you guys. And then our producers, Trent A, The Game Orb, Justin Maverick House Seal, and then, of course, our executive producers, the lifeblood of the Patreon, Mr. Joby, Joshua Butts, a.k.a. the Butts Man, and Mr. John O. Shout outs to all of them. SpawncastNetwork.com to see or to become a member of the Patreon. Lots of stuff going on over there. Of course, you can always become a channel member on here as well. But the fabled Nintendo Direct, the disease has been removed because we finally had it. So we're going to go over the games. We're going to share our thoughts. I don't know if we have a debate. We'll probably debate on some of these games, I'm sure. So that will probably suffice. First off, first game we're introduced to on this Nintendo Direct, Mario and Luigi Brothership. This game will be coming out on November 7th. What do we think about this? I feel like there's going to be some conflating opinions.
Nate, do you want to go first, or should I?
You can go first.
Okay. I'm really excited about it. I love Mario and Luigi games. The style is so iconic and it's colorful. I'm really digging the cel shady kind of like style to it and the vibe. But like, I'm also biased because I love like those type of games. I'm really digging like the kind of RPG elements that Nintendo's been vibing with recently. Like we had Super Mario RPG, we had Thousand Year Door, and now we have this. Like RPG fans are eating good right now. Though I would love for any of these type of games to be pixel art because I'm just I like 2D games. I'm fine with the shift to the 3D cel shading. So yeah, I'm excited. What about you, Nate?
I'm a little more torn on the game. I enjoyed the Mario and Luigi games back on the Game Boy Advance and the DS, and it's been a long time since we've gotten a original Mario and Luigi game, but as you mentioned, we are in kind of that RPG renaissance in terms of Mario games. Mario RPG last year, Mario, Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, just about over a month ago. And now later this year, we have Mario and Luigi. And the trailer itself was quite strong. The animation, the visual approach, definitely very attractive and appealing. I'm just at that point where I'm feeling a little fatigued of the Mario RPG as a genre right now. Maybe come later this year, that will be remedied and I will be in the mood for the game. But for me, this opener was a little cold, only because it's just been so many Mario RPGs in a very limited window of time. But it is great to see the franchise back. I am curious as to whom the developer is, because we know Alpha Dream had shut down. So I'm curious who Nintendo gave this project to. My hope is that they did not give it to a studio like Next Level Games, because I think their talents would be better prioritized for a Switch 2 exclusive game rather than something coming in towards the end of the Switch generation. So I'm curious who is, at helm for this project, but I think any fans of the Mario RPG type genre or Mario and Luigi games in general, this is definitely going to be something that they're going to look forward to later this year, and I'm glad those fans have something to look forward to.
I'm kind of with you. I don't like the smorgasbord of Mario RPGs in 1 year. I feel like they could have been spaced out better. I like these games a lot, but I don't know. I didn't really care for the art style. I didn't really care for the art style or the animation. Like, I understand it, and I think probably the full game, will look really good. But I don't know. Like, it's cool, but I don't know. I don't just something about it. Something about it just did not click with me, which is weird because I really enjoyed the other games. But I think it is kind of a little bit of fatigue with it. 3 Mario RPGs in 1 year when you haven't gotten, really any in quite a while because, like you said, Alpha Dream shut down and Nintendo did nothing to, assist that or whatever, obviously. So I don't know. Like, I think it'll be good, but I don't know if it'll be like a day one sort of thing for me. And we got a bunch of super chats. Any other questions, debates on that?
I mean, not particularly. I mean, I think, like you said, I think some fans are definitely going to be feeling that Mario RPG fatigue, whereas fans of just Mario and Luigi have every right to be excited because there was a long period of time where people thought maybe Nintendo would permanently put Mario and Luigi on the shelf in favor of Paper Mario due to the closing of Alpha Dream. So at least this kind of puts those concerns to rest, where Mario and Luigi will continue. But I also have those flashbacks of when they ported Mario and Luigi to the 3DS late in that console's life, and it didn't sell well because everyone had moved on to the Switch. This isn't a one-to-one situation because the Switch 2 is not on market right now. But I do wonder, will there be that fatigue? Will the fans show up? Or is this going to be more of a conservative approach to the franchise where it sells, it's 1 to 2 million sales, and maybe Nintendo will be content with that. But I think that also comes down to learning whom the developer is. If it is Next Level Games, this could be, a fairly higher budget Mario and Luigi game versus what Alpha Dream had produced in the past. So I think there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered regarding this particular release. But again, Mario and Luigi fans, be excited because, I mean, it was a pretty strong trailer in terms of presentation. And hopefully there's a strong story to go alongside that more lighthearted gameplay that we get from this franchise.
Good turnaround time too. November.
I hope it's goofy. The humor in those games always make me laugh.
It'll be interesting to see that though, because obviously a different team is going to be making it. All right, let's go through a couple super chats before we go into our next game so we don't get too far behind. Scar with $2 A. I guess that's Australian. GT Live and driving around West Australia. Yes, please. Is West Australia like a little more hardcore? I've never been to Australia, and I don't see myself going there anytime soon. But glad you're enjoying the show, Scar. Josh Carlos with a $4.99. Better game, Red Dead 1 or Resident Evil 4 original? See,
I think I'd go with Resident Evil 4 just because I'm not a huge fan of Red Dead Redemption.
See, I think I would go with Red Dead 1 because I didn't love Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube because it didn't click with me. Mr. Stinky?
I played neither. So
you're the tiebreaker.
I know. Okay, well, I like Red Dead 2 a lot. So like my heart's telling me just to vote for Red Dead because I like the second one.
Honestly, I think Red Dead 1 was a little bit cooler than Red Dead 2.
Really?
It didn't feel like Red Dead 2. Those controls are just so damn sluggish. Another $4.99 from Josh Carlos 98. Last one, Batman Arkham City versus Uncharted 2. That's not a contest. Batman Arkham City trumps most games. No,
Uncharted 2.
Fuck off.
Uncharted 2 is almost perfection of its genre.
And so is Batman Arkham City as a Batman game. No. No.
Wait, I'm a
I go with
tiebreaker. Uncharted.
Uncharted 2.
I vote Uncharted. I love the Uncharted series.
Jesus
Boom.
Christ.
Bam.
Sit down, Batman.
Yeah.
Dustin I, also a channel member. Hit that channel membership button with a $5. That Mario and Luigi Brotherhood trailer was better than the whole Super Mario Brothers movie. Don't at me. Didn't they announce that the new one's coming out in like 2026?
They announced that a few months ago, but
Wait,
people
really?
just happened to ignore it.
They're doing another one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course they are. This is going to be a
Chris
whole
Pratt?
big. Yeah.
Yes.
Right, I'm Mario. I'm walking
Great.
here. Josh Storch, also a channel member with a $5 dono. Surprise Game and Talk episode while I'm at work on my birthday. Hell yeah. Nate, scary how many games you and MVG called in your video. Love y'all. Nate cheats. It doesn't count. When I do predictions, they're authentic. They're basing it on maybe something Nate said to me in passing, and then just me pulling shit out of my ass. But
Whoa.
we will be getting to some RGTWs during this Nintendo Direct. And
But MVG and I spend a good amount of time compiling our predictions. We look at the companies most likely to appear there, and then we rationalize and determine which product seems as though it's the most viable to appear. I mean, we were looking at it and we were saying, what's a good mobile game that could come to the Switch? And I said Hello Kitty. Who else said Hello Kitty? Exactly.
Casual Noob Gamer with a big $10 dono. Sorry about my comments the past few shows. I'm usually not a creep, and I realize and regret that it may encourage harassment from actual creeps. So I'll keep it PG going forward. Sorry again.
Does anyone remember what they said?
I don't and I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo myself. So, but thank you for the $10, Casual Noob Gamer. Jesus Christ, this is all donations.
Also, happy birthday, Josh. I forgot to say.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Josh. Jeff D, $10 dono, chipping in for Nate's air conditioner. GoFundMe. Those window units are cheap. Come on now. I told him to get one of the fucking roller ones. That's what, dude, I lived in North Carolina. The AC went out of my house, and the lady that I was renting the house from would always tell me, oh yeah, I'm sending someone out. They're coming out today. It should be fixed. She never sent anyone out. So I finally called her out on it, and she just gave me free rent for the summer because it was balls hot. So I went to Home Depot and got like one of those roller things. And I would just, whatever room I was in, I would just bring that son of a bitch in there, put it in the window, and, position it. It was nice. It got cold.
I use Nature's air conditioner, which is a cool sea breeze that may or may not appear every night. And I have my ceiling fan operating. I have the windows open, and I let nature take its course. I've never had AC. Didn't grow up with AC, continue not to have AC, and I survive the occasional heat wave every single summer. Now, if I were 90 and it was going to be 100 degrees for a couple of months, maybe I'd consider AC then. But until that day arrives, I'm okay.
Vampire Slayer with a $10 donation. Simping for Celia. Yeah, I know I shouldn't. You shouldn't. She smells. Can't help it. The real winner of the Direct was the Marvel vs. Capcom collection with Zelda, a close second. It surprised everyone and shouldn't have happened. We will be talking about both of those games. Mac Mega gifting 10 memberships. Let's go. I guess I'm a better host than Josie because we don't be getting none of this shit when Jose is running the show here. And then Midori is here, everyone. You don't see Midori on that other Nintendo podcast. Nate was my insider crush. Hell yeah.
I mean, was. Who is it now?
Well, they've retired and been ran off the internet. Thanks for the 10 gifted, Mac Mega. Now those 10 people can now join the after show, which is just this but more fuckery. Liam Warner, the $1.99, Metroid Prime 2 and 3, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, HD, and F-Zero GX all coming at this point. I have given up on any TP for my bunghole, for Wind Waker. I've given up on all that. Prime 2 and 3 makes sense. They had a golden opportunity to mention TP and Wind Waker, and they didn't take it. All right. Now we're all caught up. Thank you, everyone. You guys are fucking awesome. Next up, NWC NES Edition trailer comes out on July 18th. I'm sure Thor Ackerland is very excited for this. Now that the Kickstarter he was involved in has been taken down because it was fucking stupid and cost way too much money, and those people should be made fun of. Um, I think this is cool. Like, it's cheap. I bought the collector's edition. I might just keep it sealed and buy the digital edition. There's Legends challenges now that have been added, which are like super hard, which is tight. So I'm looking forward to this. Good stuff. Anyone else? All right. Moving on. Fairy Tale 2. Is this an anime?
Yeah, it is. I'm
Okay.
actually surprised that they're still licensing that game. I used to read the manga like over a decade ago, so I'm like super not caught up with Fairy Tale, but I thought it finished. Or it might be I might be like the worst weeb ever, and it's one of the most popular ones that I just didn't realize was still going. But it looks cool. It looks like a normal
Action
anime style game.
RPG,
Yeah.
big attacks, various landscapes. Comes out this winter. No concrete release date. Nate, anything? All right.
No.
Mickey Mouse coming to Nintendo Switch with Fantasia. He's got the little brooms and oh no, it's Fantasian from the creator of Final Fantasy, a classic turn-based RPG. I did like the fixed camera angles that they showed. Looks pretty cool, honestly. I haven't been following this game whatsoever. I've heard people talking about it, and I literally thought they were talking about Fantasia with Mickey Mouse. And I was like, it wasn't a very good game on the Genesis.
Oh dear God.
I remember
Mhm.
I saw like they did the Disney parade when I was a kid at Disney World, and like there was Fantasia stuff there. That was pretty dope. But yeah, Nate, you'll have to speak on this game because I don't know shit about it.
Fantasian was an Apple Arcade exclusive developed by Mistwalker. It was well received. There's a little bit of a mixed reception by other people where they say now people will realize the game isn't as good as the hype has led it to be. We will see when the game comes out later this year. But I think the more interesting thing is that Square Enix is publishing Fantasian for consoles because this is the first time Sakaguchi has aligned himself with Square Enix since leaving Square to form Mistwalker. So this could potentially lead to further collaborations between the two studios. And just the idea that Sakaguchi is basically coming home is exciting in itself.
Mr. Stinky, anything?
I mean, the art style looks cool. I realize I have an Apple Arcade subscription because of work, so I can totally check out the game. So that's exciting. But besides that, like, if I like it, I'll get it on console. But we'll see.
Next up, basketball's coming to Nintendo Switch Sports because Nintendo won't give me a new Mario Hoops game. That is literally in my notes. 2-on-2 matches, a 3-point contest as well. Nice free update, I suppose, comes summer 2024.
See,
All right.
You say nice free update, and I disagree.
Because it should have been there day one.
Should have been there day one. I'll even be lenient and say you have that first 6 months, like when we got golf. I think it's ridiculous that it has taken this much time for Nintendo to patch in a new game to Switch Sports. A game that sold in the area of 13 to 14 million copies, Nintendo has treated with just complete disrespect. And basketball had been data mined back when the game originally launched. So it's not as though this is something they were actively developing over the last 2 years. This is something that should have been there far earlier. And even the way they announced it, oh yeah, it's coming out later this summer. This is all the support you could give this game. A game that sold north of 10 million copies. All you could patch into the game was golf, which you announced when you had originally shown the game, and a very rudimentary basketball inclusion. Where's baseball? Where's just some other creative new sports to add to this? It feels as though it's just one of Nintendo's secondary thought projects. They knew it would sell well, casual appeal, and then they didn't have any foresight in terms of longevity with a roadmap to further support the game. We didn't get any new additions or modes to the games or to the sports already in the game. It's just Nintendo's approach to sports games this entire generation, including the Mario sports games, has been incredibly short-sighted, and it's disappointing. With that said, I will download it and play it.
Yeah, probably same. Atari 7800 had Food Fight, which was good, and Ninja Golf, which was fucking tight. 7800 wasn't terrible. Before we move on to the next thing, we have a couple new super chats. Quest for Glory Gamer, Celia, would you know if Shovel Knight Shovel of Hope DX will be getting a physical edition for current consoles?
Oh, geez. So right now, no physical has been announced. Personally, I would love to have one, but it just kind of depends on if we iron things out, that would be great. But I have no way to tell you right now. So not currently. Fingers crossed. There we go. That's a shorter answer.
Amazing Gonzo 801 with a $5 Australian. They love us in Australia, bro. Celia, you're not wrong. The fairy tale manga finished ages ago, but they continued in a separate manga called 1,000-Year Quest.
Oh, okay. I knew it. I could have sworn I used to love fairy tale. Fun fact, I cosplayed Natsu at an anime expo like years ago. It was really fun. So yeah, like in my head, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I was like fan of the series enough to like know when it ended. I'll check out 1,000-Year Quest though and see if it's good.
Next up was a game called Mio. Comes out in 2025. It looked kind of like Ori. Yep. Disney Illusion Island got a free update. Not a bad little game. I liked it. New content. It's free. One of OJ's favorite games, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, was announced for the Nintendo Switch, a timed exclusive for 2025, an open world adventure game that I believe is on Apple Arcade. Correct?
So it is. I got to play this game at Summer Games Fest. It was under embargo. It actually went up today, so I can like talk about it a little bit. I only played a little bit because they gave me like a tiny little like time period to play before like media swooped in. But it was cute. Like there are some difficulties because the Switch is the Switch, but it's really Animal Crossing-esque. If you guys like Hello Kitty, then you'll like the game. And I heard a rumor that there was big challenges in it. I don't know if that's true or not, but I love big challenges. Okay, big challenges is a little alligator that was cut. And sometimes he's so small, but he likes the big challenges.
Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports was announced. Soccer, basketball, tennis. There's one other sport. I don't recall what it was. Comes out this fall. Art style looks janky as hell. Done by Game Mill, which if it's a Game Mill game, there's like a 80% chance it's not going to be good. There is a 15% chance that it'll be decent, and there's like, let me revise that. There's a 19% chance that it'll be decent and like a 1% chance that it'll actually be good. So, and there's no online with it. So what's the point? Play with your friends in real life. Because the kids these days, they love Looney Tunes.
I don't think there's a single kid under the age of 29 who would recognize any of the characters in that trailer.
Probably not. Among Us got the update. It's out now. Formaggia, which sounds like an Italian dish, comes out on November. Doesn't it, though?
Yeah.
Hey, pasta formaggia. Or like a slur. November 1st. It's kind of like Rune Factory, but your crops instead turn into animals that you then battle. I believe it's a Marvelous game. Any thoughts on that?
I'll probably play it. It looks cute.
Now, this game could also get some polarizing opinions. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, which is the Wii Donkey Kong Country Returns. upscaled to HD. Also includes the 3DS stuff that was levels that were added into the game. So this is the second time it's been remade. You could do single Joy-Con multiplayer. January 16th, 2025. I'm going to go first on this. First off, why the fuck are you showing me this for January 16th, 2025? Does that mean you're not doing another Nintendo Direct this year? Because that's what you make me feel like with that. Second off, why do you hate Donkey Kong so much? Like, do you not know what the fuck to do with him? Do you not know how to make a new game with him? Like, this is ridiculous. You are scraping the literal bottom of the barrel with Donkey Kong games. Not to say that the game wasn't bad or the game is bad. The game is great. But it's the same fucking thing as Tropical Freeze. It's the same thing you've been doing with Donkey Kong for 2 decades now. Do something, try something different. Give him a new game, for Christ's sakes. Why do you hate this monkey so much? That's it. Anyone else?
I'm excited for it, but also I missed out on the Wii U era with Tropical Freeze. I didn't play the 3DS version of it. So like for me it's fresh and new. I actually didn't know that it was a remake of a remake. Because I wrote in my notes, show me Candy Conk's save point because I wanted to see what she looked like. But if the game's already out, I can check it out. That's fine.
Download Dolphin, download Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii, and honestly, it'll probably look better than it's going to on the Switch.
Yeah, there allegedly I might do that. I'm just curious because I didn't know that this existed. But yeah, so
and plus,
I'm less I'm less hyped about this now that I know that it exists.
We also learned who's handling this. And it is a company that someone here, I don't know if I should say that. Can I say that? I'll say it. Someone here is not a big fan of this company. I have liked their previous efforts because there were games that they could have fucked it up royally. And I'd have still been like, yo, this shit's fire. Like, I get to play this again. It's got new graphics. This is fire. But Forever Entertainment is handling this game. And honestly, some people question their quality a bit, but
I do question their quality because their quality is inconsistent. Their quality should be under scrutiny. But honestly, in this situation, this is probably the best case to come from that Nintendo deal that they made with Forever, because it was a multi-game deal. And the fact that they have something as simplistic as porting Donkey Kong Country Returns to the Switch means they really can't mess anything up that much. This isn't a in-house effort similar to House of the Dead 1 or Panzer Dragoon, where they made numerous design flaws. With this is pretty straightforward. So this is kind of good news that Forever can't mess it up, and also Nintendo isn't wasting the talent of a better porting studio to do this project. And my one thought when I saw this announcement happen is Donkey Kong Country Returns got ported to the Nvidia Shield in China about 5+ years ago. Why did this take so long?
I didn't know that. Or I probably did know that, but I forgot it.
It was one of the just handful of games that they put on Nvidia Shield in China. I believe it was Twilight Princess, Mario Galaxy, and Donkey Kong Country Returns. So this does look visually superior because that was more of a just very basic HD upres in comparison. But with Donkey Kong Country Returns, it was a good game when it came out on the Wii. But it still had some fundamental flaws and shortcomings, and one of the greatest shortcomings is its soundtrack. You didn't have David Wise compose the soundtrack, and the soundtrack compared to Tropical Freeze, which is superior in every way, not just music, but also the diversity of the worlds and stages. Donkey Kong Country Returns is very plain, it's very basic in its approach. If you've never played the game before, if you did miss it on the Wii, and then you missed it on the 3DS, as Celia apparently did, it's a fine release to get early next year. But there's no reason for someone like you or me, Sean, to come out in January and probably have to pay $50 or $60 to replay this game. There's nothing new here for us. This is the exact same game we have played twice on prior platforms, and now the only selling incentive is it's an HD. That's not enough for me. So for me, it's an easy pass, but for those who maybe just never played the game, this is a nice little release, definitely release filler. But if you've played Tropical Freeze, going from filet mignon to McDonald's, you're going to tell that this is just the inferior product of the two.
Yeah, like there's no, it's not going to be better than that. It's not going to look better. It's not going to play better. It's not going to have,
Mhm.
because you can already play it, and it's
Right.
it's obvious what they're doing with it. So,
Like,
yeah,
I guess the only thing they really removed here is the forced motion controls that the Wii version had, which had already been removed on the 3DS. There's just very little incentive to play this game, at least for people like us.
is this Donkey Kong Returns a remake of the '94 game?
No.
No, it was its own, sort of thing. Next up was Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D. I still hate that name. Looks great. November 14th. I've seen some people are not happy with the $60 price tag of this game, though. And they also announced that Dragon Quest HD 1 and 2 are coming out in 2025. So you play the third game, and then you got to go back in time. I feel like they probably, I don't know, could have like redone the timing of that, but
Yeah, it's kind of confusing. And like I get like canonically the third one takes first in the timeline, but like numbers wise, it's a lot. I really wish they made it a 3-pack. I know that historically they've always like they've bundled 1 and 2 together on like the Game Boy Color, for example, a lot. But it would have been cool to have all of them together, especially for $60.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I might check it out. It looks cool. But I don't know about 60.
Yeah, I hope they add King Slime to the game. He doesn't appear till 4, but like it'd be so
No,
cool if they added him to 3.
they're doing it just to spite you that there will not be
Life
King
is
Slime.
hard. He's the best slime.
Funko Fusion. What the fuck is this shit? I do not like Funko Pops. They all look like deformed children, like big heads. And now they're making a game. The game looks like crap. And like it has Back to the Future, it has Jurassic World in it. You're not suckering me in, Funko. Unless you send me a bag, then maybe we can talk. This comes out on September 13th. I think this might have been the worst game of the presentation. Any thoughts on Funko Fusion?
It looks like adult Legos. I think like for Funko in general, like their fans are super fans. Like a lot of people have like walls of Funko and it's crazy. So for that, like that community, I think like that's a fun game for them to enjoy. I'm curious what like the licensing look like that on the back end, just for the fact that certain licensors, like even with toys, like they're very specific on how it should be represented and where it, and who it could be interacted with. So I'm very curious what the negotiations were for that.
I do have a signed Hulk Hogan Funko Pop,
Nice.
but that's just because it's Hulk Hogan. Then we had some little 3-pack with Luigi's Mansion 2 getting a little trailer. The new Denpa Man, which is free to play, July 22nd. Any thoughts on Denpa Man? Men? I thought it was some Tamagotchi life shit. And they were like, the new Denpa Man, July 22nd. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And then Metal Slug Attack Reloaded, a tower defense
Hell
Metal
yeah.
Slug game, which Nate correctly predicted, which just goes to show you that it probably wasn't a prediction. He probably knew about it. First and foremost, here's the problem with this. Okay, the game's already out. What are we doing here? First and foremost, where's my Metal Slug Tactics that you announced years ago? Second off,
We just got a trailer on that like 2 weeks ago.
why isn't it out? It's a tactics game. It should not take this long. Second off, what the fuck are we doing with this IP now? Now we're just whoring it out to all sorts of genres. Here's a novel idea. Make a new Metal Slug.
Metal Slug Attack was on mobile devices a couple of years ago. So this is just a remaster of that to come to consoles. And now Metal Slug is starting to get into the minds of people again. Metal Slug went on a very long hiatus. No one remembers Metal Slug,
I
but it's
remember
coming
Metal
back
Slug.
now. And people, ideally, yes, SNK does make an original Metal Slug. I would imagine the core issue is the sprite work. Do you want a Metal Slug that doesn't have that classic sprite aesthetic? We saw what they tried to do on the PS2 when they tried to make a 3D Metal Slug. It was terrible.
I'm not asking, but you haven't done shit with Metal Slug in a long time. I feel like you could dust off some of those old sprites.
It's a lot of work to do those sprites.
Darkest Dungeon 2, July 15th. Hope they get a torch. And now, does anyone have things to say about Darkest Dungeon 2? All right. And now, there's a little victory lap for your boy. A new Nintendo Switch Online update, which is currently out. Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past.
You have to let this go between you and MVG.
Fuck MVG. Metroid Zero Mission. And the first of my W's, the mature 17 games, which I said I think there's a good chance they will bring this stateside since they did it in Japan. I believe a certain bald British bastard disagreed with me. And even if he did disagree with me, I don't care. Mature 17 games added to Nintendo Switch Online for the N64 with Turok and a rare game, Perfect Dark. So there's your new rare game, Modern Vintage Gamer. I'll be playing you in Diddy Kong Racing when it comes out on Switch Online as well. And even if you win, you'll still lose because I told you more rare was coming. I don't know if anyone's played any of these games. Really, the only one I was like, because I mean, you're not gonna fuck up Game Boy Advance games. Let's be real. But Perfect Dark, I never was a huge fan of the original because I didn't have nostalgia for it. I kind of moved on from my N64 by the time that came out, or I was just playing wrestling games and GoldenEye. I like the game. It's pretty fun. And once you fix the controls, like it's not perfect. There is some slowdown and some weird sound issues. Like on the Chicago level, if you go to the end of the sewer where like the water is coming in, the frame rate gets like real crappy and like the sound gets real choppy as well. But like for the most part, like it's definitely it's I would say closer to the rare replay version than it is the original N64 version in terms of like visuals and stuff like that.
So you did play the Xbox release?
Yeah. Like I've played it, but like I was just never like, oh, I love this or whatever. But very cool to see. Good on Nintendo for doing the M-rated stuff.
It opens a lot of doors now to a substantial amount of games they could add to NSO, especially from N64, because now you could feasibly have Conker's Bad Fur Day come over. You could have Resident Evil 2. You could have Doom 64. There's enough M-rated games that you could really flesh this out, and I would love to see them kind of expand and go to the companies. Even if the game isn't great, I would love to see Castlevania.
So
how long? Well, how long did it take you to realize you had to download a separate app to gain access to Turok?
I figured it out. Right away.
I saw a lot of people online saying, "Oh, I booted up my N64 app to like in Perfect Dark and Turok on here," and they then found out you had to go to the eShop and download it as a separate app. It's not just an extension of the pre-existing one.
Yeah, no, because I figured it was like that because of the way it was in Japan. Medusa versus Shu. I wonder if the controls are as wonky as GoldenEye. I have a short on my channel showing you how to fix the controls in like 2 seconds, and you get full dual stick controls. It feels just like a modern game. Like it's light years. Like the GoldenEye solution still sucked in my opinion, but this literally feels like a modern shooter.
Would you say it is good enough for us to do a Battle of the Sexes with Perfect Dark Online?
Yeah, for sure. But I'm not telling them how to fix the controls. I'll have to watch the video. All right, before we move on, I got a couple super chats here. Mac Mega, the man who donated quite a few channel memberships. Make sure you thank him if you've got one. Hella hyped for Donkey Kong Country Returns. The 3DS version did remove the motion controls, but that version ran at 30 frames per second and got early arthritis with those cramp controls. I think all 3DS and DS fans got that. Like between Metroid Prime Hunters and Kid Icarus, yeah, these hands are small, I know. And I'm gonna have Celia read this one from Andy, the $7.99 Australian.
Here you go. Here I am. Oh my God, I hate you both. Uncle Mo, thank you, ma'am. This will be a treat, Uncle Mo. Here I am while you eat. There you go.
Thank you, Mr.
For the-
Sing it again. It's her birthday
No.
too.
Yeah, it's they're twins.
Yeah, they're
Oh, geez.
twins. Here you go. Eat your fries. Whatever.
Sure.
You know what
Oh,
scene that
being
leads
here.
into? You know what scene that leads into? Nice
Certain
squirt
drawing.
gun and the drawing.
I know. Oh my God.
Next up, we have another OJ game with Phantom Brave, the Lost Hero, a tactical turn-based battle game where you play as a little girl or some shit, and it had really crappy frame rate. 2025. Any thoughts on Phantom Brave, the Lost Hero?
I played it when it came out on the PS2, and then they ported it to the Wii. So I am familiar
No,
with the
the Phantom
franchise,
Brave
but I
on
definitely
The Phantom Brave on the Wii was not this game, right?
it's in the same franchise.
Yeah. But it's not.
Yeah.
It's not the same game. Okay.
No, yeah, I think the one on the Wii, I think it was a port of the PS2 game. Because that's when NIS, like America and stuff, were just putting everything they could on, be it the PS2 or the Wii, and they were just trying to get those sales, even the PSP. It's like I'm familiar with the franchise, but I definitely fell off from it in probably the last decade or so.
Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, consisting of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Children of the Atom, The Punisher, some other stuff I didn't write down. Online gameplay, museum as well. This is tight, as my notes say. 2024 release. I think this is cool. It looks good. I know some people were extremely excited for it, and it's kind of like, I mean, it's not like the game's like disappeared, and they made an arcade 1-up with all this stuff on it, but I digress. The museum stuff is very nice. Looking forward to this. I think Capcom does cool shit with their little compilation stuff like this. Like all of them have been really, like the Street Fighter 30th was fucking amazing. The Capcom beat 'em up collection was amazing. So I like these things.
Yeah,
not on Xbox though.
Not on Xbox, but it's a very strong collection of games. And I mean, like the Punisher game was a fantastic arcade game back in the day, but everyone is definitely interested in just Marvel vs. Capcom 2 because that is the fighting game. And, you know, I can't wait just for the games to release because it's a fantastic collection of games. And I kind of hope we see Capcom versus SNK come back one day as well.
A new Mario Party, Super Mario Party Jamboree. It's a Country Bear Jamboree out there. New boards, new things to do, and new gameplay mechanics. 5 new boards. A board from Mario Party and Mario Party 2 return as well. 110 mini games, up to 20 players in a new online mode that's kind of like a speed run thing. October 17th. I'm not the biggest Mario Party guy in the world. So once again, this didn't really do much for me, but I can understand the appeal. Our third Mario Party game on the Switch. Any thoughts?
I'm mad at Mario Party on the Switch. Okay, so like I really wish that this game was broken up into DLC packs for the original Super Mario Party because like they really hyped up that game like, you know, few years back, and then like when I played it, it felt really empty. And like, don't get me wrong, like I enjoyed the second I was supposed to call it Paper Mario Mario Party game, that was like Superstars or whatever, because that was fun because it was all the OG games and like everything that I enjoyed. But I don't know. I'm just really salty that they made a new Paper. Why am I calling it Paper Mario? I'm tired.
Super Paper
Mario
Mario.
Party. There we go. Jamboree. I'm just gonna call it Jamboree. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of salty about it. I'll buy it, but I'm very salty.
Good point. Good point. 20 mil on the first one, 13 mil for the second one. It makes sense. Nate, are you into Mario Party stuff?
Yeah, I haven't bought a Mario Party probably since the GameCube generation. It's just nothing for me, especially at this stage of my life. Who am I playing it with? I'm not married, I don't have kids. So unless I'm playing it online, which wouldn't happen, there's really no appeal of a Mario Party for me.
You don't local co-op with your friends?
No, we're men.
Oh. Okay, I do. Shit.
You're Mr. Stinky. Speaking of Mr. Joby, the $10 dono. So who gets this super chat? Hopefully not John. Nope, John doesn't see a penny of this money, boys. So if you ever want to give us money and you don't want to give it to us directly for whatever reason, you just give it here. And then the surprise of the event. A new Zelda game, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, where you play as Zelda using the art style from the Link's Awakening remake. Hopefully they fix the frame rate issues. Zelda has a staff and you do like echoes and stuff, which are just kind of like things in the world or characters in the world, and you use them in order to fight different things. It's like a puzzle mechanic. I think this looks fucking awesome. And like I made fun of some people today talking about the game. Go watch that video after you watch this. But the one thing I've seen is people are like, I don't like the gameplay. Like, why doesn't she have like a physical attack? And to me, it's like that would be fucking pointless, because you would just be making a Legend of Zelda game where you play as Zelda, but it plays exactly like Link. Like, I am glad that this is different. I'm glad that this is more of a thinking style of game. Like, I think this has more innovation than Tears of the Kingdom did compared to Breath of the Wild. Like, I think this is innovative as hell, because there's going to be a ton of different ways to skin the cat. And I feel like there's going to be more, and I mean that literally, skinning a cat alive. I feel like there's going to be more ways to like traverse through this game and potentially do things. And I think you're going to see some very creative stuff out of people. I think this looks fucking awesome. September 26th as well. Hell of a turnaround time. This was my game of the show by far.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it too. And like with people complaining, why not just give her a sword? Then like the debate would be, why wouldn't it just be Link then? I'm really
it'd be too same. It'd be too samey.
And then they would complain, oh, then they're reskinning it, you know, because they want to. I don't even know. I'm very excited for it. I love puzzle mechanics. I really like, you know, like I love the thinky games. So I'm gonna have a great time with this. And like I've always complained that I wanted to play as Zelda in a Zelda game. I know we got that with was it Wand of Gamelon? It was one of the CDI games you had to play. Yeah. And I don't have a CDI. I don't plan to get one. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing as Zelda, my girl. Finally, it's gonna be awesome.
Do you feel represented now that there is a game where you play as Zelda?
Yeah, it's so cool that there's girls in gaming now. It's awesome. I feel seen.
Horrible. Nate, what do you think?
I like the premise of the game. I like the idea that it's going to be more environmental puzzle focused. I need to see a lot more of the game before I can really walk away with any just general conclusion of if this will be a game for me. I've seen a lot of the online talk suggesting that the map is an extension of the map from Link to the Past, which would be very exciting to return to that setting. I just need to see a little more about the magic mechanics. Is there a cap on what we can replicate, or can we replicate everything? How many things can we replicate? Is there a time limit on what we replicate, or will it be a permanent addition into the world itself? Things like that I just want answers to. And I have seen that discussion going on online of people saying, oh, give her sword or whatever. And I'm kind of a mixed mind on it, where I wouldn't be opposed if she had some sort of magical abilities. Because when we've seen her in Hyrule Warriors and stuff like that, or even just in the mainline Zelda games, she just has some sort of magical, aptitude to her. So even if it was just basic spells, I'm just curious how we're going to approach boss battles and stuff like that. Are they really going to be primarily puzzle focused where we have to use select items to trap an enemy, deflect it? Or will she have some sort of other magical attack to basically be a companion to the replication system? So just minor things I want to see more information come out on and flesh out. But I think the concept is promising, and I am interested to see how the game is received when it comes out later this year, and just to see if Nintendo gives us a little more of a deep dive as we get closer to that release and the previews and such that will inevitably come out before the game launches. I just want to see a little more and learn more about the in-game systems and see what the limitations are or how far the game goes in terms of combat and stuff. Because right now we really only have a general idea of the exploration, and we did get a minor glimpse of combat where we did see her summon some stuff to confront enemies. So just a few things I want answers to before I can fully commit my invested interest.
And then coming off that Blockbuster announcement, we had another Blockbuster announcement with Just Dance 2025 edition. I feel like this game needs to burn in hell. Stop making these. Stop supporting these. Lego Horizon Adventure trailer. It looked like that was the Switch version of the game. Looked fine. I guess Lego didn't force Sony to put it on Switch, huh? Fuckers. Holiday 2024. Wasn't necessarily expecting a release date here. Very weird to see a Sony game at a Nintendo Direct, but hey, it's 2024, baby. Some fucking game about a stupid cat. It's already out on PlayStation. Comes out holiday 2024 on the Switch.
I'm so excited. I already played it on PS5, so I think I'm going to stop there. But Stray, if you haven't played it, is so charming. The cat is so cute, and it's very emotional. It's an emotional story.
Can I kill it? Can I?
No.
I like at the start where the cat falls, and the cat's like holding on, and then he falls. Like that would have been awesome if like he just fell, and that was it. They're like, well, game over.
That's you have a lot of things you should work out in therapy. Yeah, but the game is great. I love the game. So cat lovers or cat not lovers, like the game's delightful.
Okay. You ever wanted to be a hobbit? Now you can. In Tales of the Shire, the Lord of the Rings. This looks like crap. You work in the yard and then eat dinner with your family. Like fucking just do that in real life. Save yourself some money.
So I got to also play this at Summer Games Fest. It was also under embargo. So yeah, no, it's cute. It's a cozy game. I feel like when I was playing it, I was getting really annoying with the developers because like I like to ask a bunch of dumb questions. Like I was like, oh, because you can do quest lines, and it's like, can you be evil? Like, can I just do a bunch of mischief? And the answer was no. But yeah, you do get to bond and like get really like make different strong friendships. It's not a dating sim. You don't get to date them. But you get strong friendships with different characters, and you get to have like chickens, and it's really cool. I'm looking forward to it. What'd you say?
Can you boil potatoes?
Yeah, you can cook.
Stick them in a stew?
Yeah, you can cook, and like you can collect different things in the game. And yeah, you cook it together. You can invite different townspeople for dinner. It's cute. And like as like the game progresses, you can do like more advanced recipes. That's as far as I got. So I don't have anything else about the game, but it seemed pretty cool. So I don't know. We'll see. I wish you could be evil though. I don't know. I played like all about 10 minutes of the game because then I had to get kicked off because media was there. So the way that Summer Games Fest works is that there's appointments and like, all the media books them up. but usually appointments like overlap. So there's like a small period of time where no one's playing the game. And then that's where I like seize the moment and like sneak in. But yeah, that's it.
Interesting.
That's awesome. Sounds terrible. Before
Oh
moving
my
on,
God.
we'll read some super
Are there
chats
any
here.
Ents in the game? Will like an Ent show up? You got to feed the Ent.
I don't know anything more. I'm
You
still
didn't
sad.
ask
I wish
about the Ents.
I didn't. Okay.
Why would you not ask about an Ent?
The
Because
Dark Void $4.99. So since M-rated games are now on Switch Online, do you think that opens the door for Mortal Kombat games we finally added? Hey, they freed Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Maybe they'll free Mortal Kombat 4, the N64 version. The Casual Noob Gamer $4.99. The Casual Noob Gamer $4.99. Zelda equals woke. Don't let Nintendo get away with it. I like my women and princesses in the kitchen where they belong. Yeah, I'm not a creep. Hey, you're not wrong, buddy. And Josh Storch, $5. Excited for Shovel Knight. Any chance I can try and win one, Celia? LOL. I will buy it if I can't. And yes, I hope we get a physical release.
So we don't typically do giveaways, but if we do, it'd probably be with like Wario 64 or something like that. So keep an eye out come release. We might have a giveaway. Or maybe
All right.
not. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
I guess fuck gaming talk. It's all about Wario 64. Who's like a millionaire, by the way. On those affiliate fucking links. Ace Attorney Investigations Collection, consisting of 2 games. One which was never released in the West, can use a pixel or a modern art style. September 6th of 2024.
I'm so excited for this game. Okay, so first off, I'm an Edgeworth simp. I love him so much. And yeah, we didn't get the Japan only release because that was in like it was for the DS like in the early 2000s, and so we didn't get it. And I was really bummed because I like the games and I love Edgeworth. You get to play it as him. It's really cool. That's all I have to say.
I used to like the games back in the day. I got kind of tired of them though. But like the first few, like the Phoenix Wright trilogy, I was really into those.
They're good. They're a good time. I feel like you just can't play them back to back to back, or you get like Ace Attorney fatigue.
Right.
I tried doing that with Chronicles, and I got really sick of it for a while. But then when I went back to it, I kind of forgot what was going on. So it's a double-edged sword. I don't know.
Wasn't there a guy named Mr. Stinky in the first one?
Probably.
Or is it? No, his name was like Larry Butts. And what was the catchphrase he had? If it smells, it's probably the butts.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but that's great.
Some crappy looking game, the 100 Line Last Defense Academy 2025. I was kind of into it when it was just the anime style stuff and like everything got evil, and then they showed the gameplay and I was like, no, this looks dumb.
Do not. Okay, it's Spike Chunsoft. Okay. I love
you know what Spike Chunsoft needs to do? Make a new Fire Pro. Put a Fire Pro Wrestling on the goddamn Nintendo Switch. You sons of bitches.
Too bad.
No.
They're making a Danganronpa game, and I'm very excited to play it. I don't know. I love their convoluted games. They are fantastic. I really enjoyed Raincode too. It was so bizarre, but I loved everything about it. So I look forward to this. Like, you know, I like tactics games. Like, that's like my vibe. So, and like they have anime ass looking characters. They mentioned in the trailer that there's like inevitable deaths, which is like, oh, you're going to get attached to the characters and then traumatized when they die. I'm looking forward to it. I love these games. I'll buy it physical if it comes out physical too.
I did see the developers say that they basically are staking their entire career on this game. They've invested a lot of money, and if the game doesn't sell, they are essentially finished.
Well, they should have invested their time and money into a goddamn new Fire Pro or a Fire Pro on the Switch. You have a huge Japanese following with the Switch. The Japanese people love Fire Pro, and the Westerners love Fire Pro. There's a gaping hole on the Nintendo Switch when it comes to wrestling games. You're not getting the latest WWE games. Why the fuck would you not put a Fire Pro on the Switch? Liam Werner with $1.99. If Zelda doesn't get an amiibo, then amiibo is dead. I believe there is amiibo support for this game that's been discovered, so I would assume that it would happen. Jeffrey Tucker, $5 dono. Which Shovel Knight on Steam is the correct one to buy? There are many to choose from.
No, there are. Joy's a Shovel Knight. Okay, so we recently announced Shovel Knight DX, which is Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope DX, which is the deluxe version of Shovel of Hope, which is the original adventure. But right now, because DX is not out yet, add it to your wish list though. I would suggest Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. It should still be 50% off right now. If it's not, it's a great game. Just for context though, Treasure Trove is our release of all 5 campaigns, which has Shovel of Hope in it, Plague of Shadows, Spectre of Torment, King of Cards, and Shovel Knight Showdown, which is like a fighter game. The rest of them are 2D platformers. They're really unique and fun to play. So I would pick that one right now, but for the most advanced version of the original game, the first one, DX would be the way to go. But it's not out yet. It's going to be really cool, though. I feel like I have to make a graph. And that would help with explaining this.
And Switch 3 talk with a $2.79 Canadian. I said your early thoughts on the Switch 3. I really like the icon that you have too. Did you make that, or did John actually get emotional? Because he looks angry. I like that. And sorry, CC, if you kick me out, the show ends, pal. No, Fire Pro is a wrestling game. Next up was Romancing Saga 2 remake. We're in the era of remakes, folks. Get used to it. I thought it looked pretty good. Nice graphical style. October 24th. I'm not very familiar with Romancing Saga or romance in general, but I thought this looked pretty cool. And then we had our final game, Metroid Prime 4. A short little gameplay, I would say teaser. We did see Silex, which makes me happy. I hope that all the hunters are brought back. Get a little Trace in there. 2025 though. So, there are some questions surrounding that. Some fucking weirdo passed out at Nintendo New York. Should have scooped him out of the building. I don't understand. Why are you passing out on a game you know exists?
Well, he posted a video on Twitter explaining why he passed out. He said it was the collective energy of everyone anticipating this trailer, that they didn't think of a game existed. And when he saw the trailer begin, it was just the hype of millions of people going through him that led to the collapse.
I'm imagining like a Goku, give me your energy kind of shit. But I hope he's okay.
He's fine.
Okay. That's
Anyways, good. I think it looks good. It looked like Metroid Prime, gameplay wise and stuff. I would love to see what Bandai Namco was fucking doing, what they were working on, because it must have been some straight up fuck shit. 2025. I mean, it does suck because they didn't specify. I feel like if it was early 2025, they would have said early 2025. Is it going to be a cross-generational game? What is it? What are we doing? I get it's exciting to see, but as an ending announcement, I don't know. I guess they felt that Mario and Luigi Brotherhood wouldn't have that same sort of impact. But I would have rather Metroid Prime 4 started the show with a 2025 release date than end the show with a 2025 release date. I would like your thoughts on it, though.
Nate, do you want to go?
I mean, it's good. We finally got to see it. The trailer served its general purpose. It was a tone setter. We have an idea of the direction, the setting, the characters in the game. We know Silex is coming back, as you mentioned. So it was a good way to introduce the game to fans and say, this is what we have. We'll talk to you at a later date. It is essentially a teaser trailer. I personally wanted more. I wanted a deeper look at the game and the game mechanics and the setting and such. I wanted something similar to what we saw at the Xbox show with Perfect Dark. I wanted to get a better look at what this game is going to be, especially when you factor in how long the wait has been. We had the game announced back in 2017. We then got the announcement that it was being rebooted by Retro in 2019. We got a very vague verbal update in 2021 after they had shown us Metroid Dread, and it had just been silence ever since then. Prior to this week, the only image of Metroid Prime 4 that we ever had access to was the JPEG dating back to 2017. So for it to be reintroduced, I just wanted a little deeper look at what we were going to be getting from the game beyond what we saw. Like, we basically saw likely the intro area, the very quick combat sequence where we're going to lose the access to her suit, but we did get the confirmation Silex and the Hunters are here. And we don't know what planet we're on. And I've already seen a lot of the Metroid lore hunters looking for the finer details. It appears it takes place, I believe it's 2 years after Super Metroid. So if you're trying to do any, canon mainline connections, you have that information to work from. Just wanted a deeper look at what the game was really going for. But as a teaser trailer, how rude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
As a teaser trailer and an introduction.
It was loud as fuck.
Yeah, it was insanely loud.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Mr. Stinky.
But as that introduction, it was just a nice way of like, okay, here it is. This is the visuals. This is the gameplay. It's still Prime. We'll talk about this at a later date. Stop asking questions. And when we're ready to give you a more substantive look at it, we will do so. And they just gave that very vague blanket 2025 at the end, which I think is going to be a talking point for a lot of people in the months to come.
You can eat. It's fine.
I'm not eating. I was getting cough drops. I'm sick.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ.
I thought you were eating some chips or some shit.
No! My throat hurts, so I needed something.
Yeah. It was cool, but I did want to see more. And I'm also not 100% sure that all of the hunters are going to be there. I hope they are, because I think that makes the most sense, especially if you're thinking about some potential online component. But Silex has always been kind of like the one hunter that they seem to really like, when it should be Trace, because Trace is cooler. He's a sniper. Celia, any thoughts?
I don't know. I'm waiting to form opinions. I think it's exciting. I do agree. I'm surprised that it was a teaser trailer, to be honest. Just with beats in general, you typically announce like announcing its existence, then release window, then out now. That's usually the 3. So the fact that Nintendo's doing 4, which is like release year, then they'll do window. I don't know. I'm surprised that we didn't get like even at least like a more detailed window, since we got a window for literally everything else. But I don't know. It looks cool. We've waited how many years now? So we can wait another one.
Another thing I was very surprised, and maybe it would have made a greater impact as a concluding part of the Direct, is if they had come out saying, okay, there's your first look at Metroid Prime 4. Later today, Metroid Prime 2 is available on the Nintendo eShop.
Yeah, something like that. I would have appreciated that as well. So overall, that was our Nintendo Direct. That was every game that was there. I guess we'll go around giving it a numerical score. Oh, wait, Nate LaHate is here. My cousin who works at Nintendo said it's not Zelda in the trailer. It's a new Zelda female IP. Thank you, Nate LaHate, with the Festus biscuits and gravy picture. Celia, scored on a scale of 1 to 10.
I gave it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I liked all the games that they showed for the most part. I wish they had another like last ditch Kirby game. I don't know. I love Kirby. So that was the only thing I was missing, but everything else was really fun.
Nate?
I think I would come in with an 8.5 right now.
God damn, y'all making me look bad.
I think I would come in with the 8.5. I mean, they announced a lot of stuff coming out in 2024, and being this late into its generation, there's still a lot of support on the platform. We got that brief glimpse into 2025 with Metroid Prime 4 and Donkey Kong Country. I I mean, it's not that they're overly huge, exciting announcements, but it's good to see the innovation with a Zelda-led Zelda game and stuff like that. I think it's just showing Nintendo can still be innovative and creative even this late into a console generation. So that's where I kind of settle on an 8.5. But I could easily, it's definitely between an 8 and an 8.5. It's not a firm 8.5 by any means.
I'm going with a 7. Um, I I enjoyed some of the stuff, just like looking over the list. I think one of the problems for me was that all the third-party games kind of blended together with this weird anime style, Farmasia, Hello Kitty, uh, Dragon Rampa, Phantom Brave. Like, that stuff doesn't really do much for me. Prime 4 looked cool. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. I like the NSO update. And I liked Fantasia, the singer, Nintendo World Championships. Like it definitely it was solid, but I think I enjoyed the Xbox show a bit more, like overall. But I mean, it was light years better than the fucking Sony one. I
think
do
if
find
you
it. I find it very odd how some people are like, "This was the best direct ever," and I'm like, "Did we forget like 2017 existed?" But
I think if you were a weeb, you would have liked this direct more.
right.
Because like I love this. This is an awesome direct.
And
Was it the best? No, but like, was it pretty damn close? I don't know. I was pretty happy with it.
I think if they had maybe one or two third-party games that were more of my interest, I think the score would have gone up. But I don't know. Like, that was just me.
Okay. Yeah, it's also like late in the life cycle for the Switch. Like, this is
Right,
if we're
and I
like taking
understand it.
everything into account. This was fantastic.
I mean, yeah, 7 out of 10. It's a good score. It's a damn good score. Rufflemud is not happy with me. Stop being a skeptic and just enjoy it. I don't believe in being the best or perfect. This was a good direct. Yes, good. 7 out of 10. Remember, 5 is mediocre. 10 is greatness. 1 is crap. So I'm above mediocre. I'm good. 7 out of 10. It was a good direct. The best one ever? I don't think so.
I think we're just skewed because, like, in school grades, like 7 out of 10 is a C, and like
No,
that's
it's
not great.
because of people like OJ. Like, oh, 7 out of 10 is crap.
Yeah,
No.
Metacritic hasn't helped, where everything below an 8 is apparently a disaster. Even games in a low 80s, people are like, well, it's not even good. It has an 83 Metacritic. Like, no, that actually means
Fuck
it's pretty
Metacritic.
damn great. But, I mean, I think when you factor in the stage in which the generation is in and the support the system is still getting, I think that's where some people are walking away very high on the Direct. Because, it is 2024 for a system that came out in 2017. And just that Nintendo is still supporting the system as strong as they are with, new entries to IPs, not just remasters or low-end remakes at this stage, is kind of commendable. Because when you look at previous systems, and not even talking like the Wii U, which was abandoned about 6 months after it came out, if you look at the 3DS and even the Wii, you can always tell when Nintendo has pivoted with their development teams to the next system. And right now, Nintendo, you just put out a brand new 2D Zelda game. Whereas maybe in the past, that would have been something you would hold and have as a launch game to new hardware instead of putting it out at the tail end of a system, though you could easily make the argument of Skyward Sword exist, and they did exactly that. But at this stage, for how old the Switch is, for this type of direct to come from them, I think is why you see some of those scores and some of the reactions you have seen versus a company like Sony, who should have had a banger showcase or a banger state of play, or at least something of substance. They're in the middle of the generation. This is where the game should be flowing, very similar to what Microsoft had with their June showcase. Microsoft is finally at that stage of development where all their teams are ready to show their projects. They weren't ready back in 2020 because they had just started the projects. Now it's 4 years into development. They were ready, they had everything to show, and it was exciting. Nintendo being this late and still having stuff to show and surprise is why it's getting such a positive reception. Had this been 3 years ago with the exact same showcase, maybe the reception would be a little more lukewarm.
I don't think so. I think people still would have loved it and been like, this is the greatest thing ever. Because, hey,
new
Nintendo
Danganronpa game.
Yeah, hell, fuck yeah.
Edgeworth Daddy. Like, dude, there's so many good games coming out. I'm excited.
All right, well, we're going to wrap things up here. But before we go, we do have a final few super chats. And of course, we will be live in a few moments for the after show. Look on the community tab. You're a channel member. Ruffle Mutt, $2 donation. Why is Shovel Knight a gross catfish? Samus vibes.
What are you talking about? He's not a catfish.
And Spyro Jones, channel member, $1.99. What are the chances? What are still the chances of Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remakes?
Remakes? Using that verbiage?
I would say he meant remasters.
Even remasters may be a bit generous, as the original reports and rumors were that they were going to be a lesser effort than what Metroid Prime 1 Remastered was. They're going to be closer to a basic up-res. I would still say that's very likely. I don't see how Nintendo can come out with Prime 4 and not give us the trilogy, especially knowing the importance of Silex and the Hunters now in relation to that game's story. You need to give people context, and just giving them Metroid Prime 1 doesn't provide that context. So you kind of have to finish the trilogy of releases, which makes the idea that they didn't shadow drop Prime 2 following this direct all the more baffling.
That is a good case to buy. I say you need to put fucking Metroid Prime Hunters on there, because I mean that's the game where the Hunters are playing a big role. And we got a final super chat here. Vampire Slayer 83, $10. Celia, you made the chat thirsty tonight. I got a kick out of it. Love the show. Keep it up, everyone. Thank you for your support, Vampire Slayer.
Thanks.
Everyone. This was a good show. Got new channel members, got lots of donations. Of course, got to give a shout out to the Patreons, star supporters, Drunk on Tacos, A Billion Cats, and Adam Baldizon. I don't think that's your last name, Adam. I don't know. This is part of his email, so maybe it is. Our producers, Trent A, The Game Orb, and Justin Maverick House Seal. And of course, our executive producers, Mr. Joby, Joshua Butts, aka the Butt Man, and John O. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for... Oh, you're not going anywhere, Celia. Fuck your soup. You got the after show, pal. Yeah, so we are going to be live in probably a few minutes over on the after show. So if you are a channel member or a Patreon member, you should have the appropriate link. I got to take a leak before that. That's Celia from Yacht Club Games. Mr. Stinky herself.
Oh my
god. We got Nate the Hate. Go listen to him for your predictions. And then, can I do it to me? Oh, it won't let me do it to me. All right, so you got me too. Oh, Jesus, I just blew it up on my screen. All right, you got me too. Go watch. There you go. Go watch today's video. I make fun of people. And yeah, thank you guys for support. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Next week, Battle of the Sexes returns. It's a good episode. See y'all next time.